Hello, lovely family and friends. A warm welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is doing well by God's grace. So today, I'm going to share assorted cow meat stew recipe with you. I shared the wache last week and I was going to share this next, but then I was having problems with this video. Finally, I've been able to edit it and I'm bringing it to you today. So I hope you enjoy it. So let's start with our meat. It's a good place to always start with your meat, especially if your meat is tough. So I'm starting with my cowhide Wele, my Tripe, Yemadia, and then cow foot. Okay, so to these I've added my salt and then some of my green chili mix. And here I'm adding some anise seed, ground anise seed, and water. I'm going to boil until it's soft. If you have a pressure cooker, you can use it at this point. But this is what I don't get me started with my pressure cooker. So yeah, this is how I did it, right? Because once it's nice and soft, you set that aside and then you move on to the next one. So for the next one, I'm going to be steaming my proper cow meat. I mean, like the normal cow meat, okay? The beef and then some oxtail, right? If you saw at the bottom of the pot, I added the cow foot because it wasn't soft enough, okay? Here is my beaten, okay? My beaten without any green in it. So it's a bit, light. So that's the beaten, trust me. And some more salt. At this point, I saw that the pot was not big enough. I'm like, lie. And one I will use you whether I like it or not. So I didn't change it and it worked. I don't want to be washing pots here and there. So yeah, the same pot. Anyway, so once it's nice and soft, you're going to set that aside. I didn't set it aside actually. It went straight into my air fryer to be fried. Okay, so I already have a video of how I fry my meat in advance, right? So whilst that was frying, we start with our stew. Okay, so in the oil, which I'm going to use to fry my meat, I added some bicarbonate of soda or baking soda. This is to reduce splatter. It doesn't stop the splatter, but it reduces the splatter. So I decided to fry the wele, okay? Usually when you fry the wele and you add it to your stew, the wele becomes growl. So it's very good when you fry your wele after steaming it or boiling it a bit. It makes it nice, okay? And then I also fried my tribe or yemadia. And at this point, Charlie, I regretted using this pot. I realized the thing was stuck at the bottom of the pot. I'm like, I couldn't do anything with it. So what I decided to do is now the meat is stuck. I can't get it out. So my stew also needs to be done, right? So I had to improvise. I'm like, okay, we are going to add some juices so that we can release that stickiness at the bottom, right? So I added my chili, okay? So this is the chili I'm going to be using. It has some onions and ginger in it, right? I was like, it still wasn't working when I added some, so I added the whole thing. I'm like, okay, we are going to do the stew, whether we come out or not. Just said, by fire, by force, this stew will happen. So I added my tomatoes or my tomato puree and kept stirring. The thing was still stuck. I'm like, hey, nah, mama yanka nyamianim no crepa. This pot pa. I thought they said it's non-stick. Now what kind of non-stick is so sticky like this? Anyway. And then I added my onions. So my onions goes in next, right? So I kept on frying. It was still stuck, trust me. It was so stuck. I was like very frustrated and angry. No wonder I couldn't edit the video. The video crowd was angry. Anyway, so I added the rest of my beaten. Okay, that beaten is not frozen. I had just made it for the stew. So yeah. Now I was worried that my wele is going to be very soft. So I had to touch it and it was still tough because it was going to sit in for a long time, right? So I reduced the heat completely and that released all the wele and whatnot from the pot, and then I was happy with my stew again. So I added my tomato stew base. Okay, I have this on my channel. I will link it for you. Okay, it makes everything easy. Everything goes quick. That is if your meat is not sticking to the bottom of your pan. Anyway, so this thing stressed me. So let me talk about it and be free. Therapy. After adding my tomato stew base, I gave it a very good stir and I covered it and I let it simmer on low heat. very, very low heat. This stew is not going to take long because the tomato base is like practically ready, okay? So leave it on low heat and then let it cook. After about 20 to 30 minutes, you come back, give it a stir, and you add your spices, any spices of your choice, okay? So I have my herbs and spices, jollof herbs and spices blend, right? I use the same for any tomato stew, so it's not like anything special, right? So I added that in, give it a good stir here and let it simmer for a bit, right? Once you add the spices, the oil is going to surface like crazy, plenty, okay? I just added some salt because I tasted and it wasn't well seasoned, okay? Then I added my meat, okay? So this is my oxtail and the rest of the beef, right? Don't forget we already have the Wele and then the Tripe in, the Wele and the Yemadia inside already, okay? Because they wouldn't come out, so I've left them there. I've abandoned them, okay? I'm now adding their friends. Anyway, by the way, that Yemadia, and when I went to buy this, people scammed me. They scammed me like something. I came home and the thing was like small pieces. Let me see, already. And I left far. I can't go back to change, so I used it like that anyway. Yeah, and there'll be some splatter, so I try to clean it as I go along. So let's talk about the stock. So the stock of the Wele and the Yemadia and the cow foot, okay, I didn't add it to my stew. I only added the stock from the other meat, okay, the proper meat. But from the other ones, no, I just threw that one away. And I added the proper stock of camera. And let's also talk about the oil. As you can see, a lot of oil, okay? Don't worry about it. You can always skim it or use less oil. I'm garnishing it with some chilies, okay? Use less oil. I used a lot of oil because I need that oil for another recipe, okay? So I skimmed all of it and then I'm using it for that other recipe, which you find out pretty soon, okay? So yeah, that is our recipe done. Charlie, that day, the way my kids ate this stew, you know, they ate it on fire before I even presented it. As you see, the stew has reduced. They've taken their own already. They can't wait for me to do all these video things before they eat. Yeah, so this stew as always was really good. It was amazing. And I hope you give it a try. Thank you all for joining me. And I'll see you in the very next one. Bye.